How are we doing, guys? And it's finished Leicester 0, Arsenal 1. And that was one of the most one-sided 1-0 victories you will see in the Premier League. So, like I said, it's finished Leicester 0, Arsenal 1. And the scoreline makes it sound like a close game. But the reality is, it was not a close game. That was a complete domination by Arsenal. And this is the one thing that I'm really starting to notice about us this season. And the way that we actually play and dominate games. We're not letting teams get a foothold at all. Yes, there are games during the course of the season where we haven't played great. You know, Everton away, for example. It happens. There's those odd moments. But for the majority, near enough, week in, week out, we are dominating games and we're not giving teams any opportunity. We're not giving them any opportunity to create anything, to have those moments. And it's really pleasing today to get a clean sheet. After the last few weeks, the goals we've been conceding, it's always nice to get a clean sheet. And listen, Leicester, they're not going to be one of the easiest teams that, you know, sides face this season. I don't think defensively they're that great, but I feel that in an offensive, third, they're a decent side. Now, we was quite fortunate that James Maddison was not playing because he's a threat. Could be from set pieces. You know, it's a big miss. So that was quite handy that he wasn't playing. But from the first minute, we was a different level. You know, it felt like we could step up a gear at any given moment and that we could just walk away with the game. Now, there were some talking points in the game. We thought that we took the lead. Trossard, brilliant finish. And when you're looking at it, you're thinking, what on earth are they reviewing? What on earth has happened to, you know, warrant a VAR check? And then they go and look at a camera behind the goal and they deem that Ben White has held the hand of the Leicester goalkeeper and impeded him. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking to myself, really? Are you really giving a foul for that? Now, what I will say is this, and I'm going to make it very clear. VAR is supposed to be in place. Now, let's remember this. Supposed to be in place for clear and obvious errors. Now, this was not a clear and obvious error. The referee see, the commotion in the box and what was going on and deemed it to be absolutely fine. It wasn't until the Leicester goalkeeper went over there, got in his face, made him know, go and have a look at something. And they did, and they ruled it out. And I think the biggest issue here for me is not so much them ruling it out or anything else. It's consistency. And this is something that we've had a problem with for a long time with the, referees in the Premier League. Because a little while after that, ball comes into the box and Saka gets absolutely manhandled to the floor. It's a clear penalty all day long. And they just sit there and they're like, nah, it's fine. It's not a clear and obvious error. Referee's seen it, so we'll go with the on-field decision. Well, hold on a minute. 10 minutes ago, you're not going with the on-field decision. You're going and using all these different kind of angles to rule the goal out. But then when it's us that should be having a penalty, you're like, no, it's fine. Referee's decision final. Get on with it. And I'm like, what? Really? And then, we're going at half-time 0-0. And I'm thinking to myself, so dominant. So many chances. There weren't loads of clear-cut chances. But we were just so dominant. Leicester literally did not have a shot on goal in the first half of any note. I don't remember Ramsdale doing anything. And then we come out for the second half straight away. We get the breakthrough. Brilliant goal from Martinelli. Brilliant work from Trossard. And I'm looking at that thinking, right, we can go on here and get more. And again, Leicester, they just didn't offer anything in the final third because of the way that we're playing right now. We're strangling teams and we're not letting them breathe. And they're so scared about what we can do, in the final third that they're not really causing any problems to our defence in their final third. So, it's testament to the way that we're being set up and the way that we're playing. And, Thomas Partey come back into the squad. He was on the bench. Jorginho, again, brilliant performance. Solid. And you're looking at it, and this is the big difference. And I'm one that can hold my hands up when I'm wrong here and say, Jorginho, when he signed, I didn't want him. I was like, I'm not another Chelsea reject. And listen, as an Arsenal fan, you've got every right to be sceptical because of the players that we've taken from Chelsea, and they've been absolutely abysmal. But I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, right, Thomas Partey's had an injury. What would the normal, replacement be when Partey's not there? Well, it'd be Sambi Lokonga. Well, come on. You've got Jorginho coming in, or you've got Sambi Lokonga. Before, obviously, he went on loan at Crystal Palace. But, seriously, it's given us the luxury of not having to rush Thomas Partey back. We can say, it's all right, take your time, bit by bit, step by step, and that's the big thing. And, it's a massive 3 points at the end of the day. We've got 14 games left. And I look at Manchester City, and I didn't want to do this video before their game had finished. I thought, let me watch their game first, see what happens, and then I've got an idea of where we're sitting in terms of, the league table. And they were pretty convincing against Bournemouth. Bournemouth were absolutely abysmal. What I do hope is that Bournemouth defend like that when they play us in a week's time, because they were shambolic. And at one point I thought, oh, mate, Man City are going to run away with this like 7 or 8. That's how bad it was. And I didn't want that to happen because of goal difference. And the fact that Bournemouth were actually able to get a goal towards the ends kind of, made it a little bit, nicer than it could have been. So we're 2 points clear. But we've got a game in hand. And that game in hand, of course, is on Wednesday. And we play Everton at the Emirates. And I know everyone's going to go, oh, it's Everton. Look what happened the other week. I do honestly believe that this game against Everton will be completely different to the one that was at Goodison. Sean Dyche's, been in there for a few weeks now. It's not that new manager bounce. They're starting to perform like the Everton under Frank Lampard. We're at the Emirates, like I was saying. We're a completely different side there. And it's the opportunity to win that game in hand and go 5 points clear of Manchester City with 13 games to go. It's huge. I cannot stress it enough how huge that game on Wednesday is, because it's the game in hand. It's just us. We play, we win, we get the 3 points. That's all I care about. It's at that part of the season now where it's the business end, where you just get the wins. So I look at R1 today and I don't think, it's only 1-0. Could have been 2, 3, 4, whatever. I say it's 1-0. It's 3 points. We move on. And it's as simple as that. So listen, there we go. That is it. That is my match reaction for today's game. Big 3 points. 1-0 win. 1-0 to the Arsenal, as they used to say. Never used to moan when we got the 1-0 to the Arsenal and we were winning league titles then, did we? So, listen, on to Wednesday, another big game. So, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.